judge will not issue an arrest warrant for Texas Governor Rick Perry. That means Perry can continue traveling around the country as he considers whether to run for president in 2016, despite having been indicted on 2 felony counts. He's accused of abusing his power when he vetoed millions for state prosecutors investigating public corruption. Joining us to talk more about the indictments is Ray Sullivan. Ray, thank you for being here. A little bit about your background. You served on the senior staff of 2 Texas governors, including Governor Perry. Right. You've been around the block, so to speak. You've also worked for 3 members of Congress. So you've seen the political power play at its best right now. I guess my question is, some say there's nothing to back up these indictments. Do you agree?
I do agree. Unfortunately, this is part and parcel of what we've seen in Travis County over the years. These grand juries, once impaneled, will indict virtually any Republican for any reason. When the cases get outside of Travis County, as we've seen in the past, Kay Bailey Hutchison's case, for example, they fall apart. But in the meantime, there's negative headlines and there's lots of money and angst spent on what is really a needless, unnecessary political attack. And
you mentioned negative headlines. This has gone national. Do you think that this will have an impact on Governor Perry if, in fact, he chooses to run for president either way?
The remarkable thing is how many people have rallied around the governor. You've seen people like even David Axelrod and Lanny Davis, who are Democratic operatives from White House's past. Republicans have rallied around him and his constitutional authority to veto legislation, which is time-tested. Governors of both parties have done it in the face of a extremely drunk, disorderly, disrespectful Travis County DA. The governor was doing everything he had in his power to do to take action, and was very above board about it.
Some people have come out and said that they believe that this is actually tied to an investigation with the state's cancer fighting agency, the Cancer Prevention Research Institute. Do you believe that could be at play?
I don't think that's at play at all. That is a trumped up view, in my opinion, that they took to the grand jury in order to try to get an indictment. That investigation has gone forward. It really hasn't touched the governor's office that I'm aware of. That's a phony way to try to connect these 2 issues. Constitutionally, he had every power to veto funds. Every governor's done it. Every governor has threatened vetoes in the past. It's part of the process.
Understanding that you have worked for the governor in the past, but looking at it from a political big picture at this moment in time, do you believe that the case is being handled correctly with the press conference that we saw this afternoon as well?
I think the governor has been really smart to attack these political charges head on, as witnessed by his press conference, putting his lawyers out to discuss the issues in the case. Again, if you look at every Texas governor has threatened vetoes, has used vetoes, has had line item veto authority. The governor was simply operating within his clear constitutional authority, and I think the facts will bear that out in time.
And the district attorney now? What do you think is going around behind the walls there in that office?
Look, I think the Democrats in this state and nationally are at serious risk of making Rosemary Lemberg the face of the Texas Democratic Party. What you saw over the weekend was those terrible surveillance videos being shown time and time again. If I were in their position, I would not want to remind voters of this state, and I wouldn't want to be in the position of Travis County telling people this lady is still in office while our county tries to grapple with drunk drivers and DUIs. This is not the example that Travis County or the Texas Democratic Party want to set.
Well, Ray Sullivan, we thank you for your time.
My
so
pleasure.
Grateful for your insight, and I'm sure that this will not be the end of it. We'll be talking about it for some time to come.
Take care.